There you go.
Hello again, Peace Fest. I got a question. I see a lot of people standing out here, but I know there's a lot of people who are in their tents and off in the trees. Kind of reminds me of Rainbow Farm a little bit. So all the people I can see, just kind of pipe down for a second. If you are out in the trees or in your tent and you can hear me, let me hear you. Come on, you people in the trees, pay attention. There's a lot of stuff going on. I know you're digging the tunes from there. Let's kick some knowledge to you now. I want everybody to remember energy farming, because energy farming is going to be the big campaign issue this year. Talk to your candidates about energy farming and tell them that you know that all those refineries that they're feeding with crude oil could be fed with cellulose instead. And what some of the more educated ones will tell you back is, well, yeah, but the problem is you can't grow enough cellulose on the land that we have without infringing on the land that we use to grow food. Well, that's true considering the picture that they have now, because the picture that they have now has hemp removed from it. Hemp creates enough cellulose per acre to make energy farming feasible. And yes, you cannot replace oil without it. The other thing, too, is the stall tactics that they use. They act as if you would have to 100% replace oil before you even begin the project. If you were to just replace 10% of the gasoline from petroleum with biogasoline, you could bring down the price of gas 10 cents a gallon right there. We can do this thing in increments if we have to, but I tell you that we can solve this problem with energy in America in one crop year. We don't need the oil, and we need to let them know that we don't need the oil, because there are two things that you can use against an oppressive power that they can't deal with at all. The first is humor, of pulling down their pants, of embarrassing them with how heinous they are. But the second thing, and sometimes more powerful thing, is to confront them with the fact that you know the real reasons behind the reasons they give us for everything that they're doing to us. When they say, oh, we got to have this war in Iraq, you can say, well, yeah, because you're trying to destroy the evidence of CIA involvement in Iraq. And then we got to have this war in Afghanistan. We're going to destroy the evidence of CIA involvement in Afghanistan. And we did that in Panama. Noriega was a major cocaine trafficker. Now, then we got a lot of older people here who kind of remember this stuff called Panama Red. Now, the kids today are kind of shaking their heads. They never heard of Panama Red. Because by then, Noriega was in power, working with the U.S. to choke off the land route for pot while allowing cocaine through. And that's the picture they're giving us, is this land of addictive substances and leading us further and further into addiction with no intention of ever solving the addiction, but making money off it by becoming the substitute drug pusher. And I'm sick of it. Come and talk to me or talk to anyone from Cures Not Wars about ibogaine. There is a working antidote to addiction, and our government's been withholding it from us at the same time that they've been importing hard drugs into our country. I just got back from Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Smoke-In on the 4th of July. I found out there that the #1 drug on the street is heroin. Heroin has made a big comeback. And you know what's funny is, when you see these anti-drug ads, they never use that word addiction. And that's because they know that pot's not addictive, and you can't do an anti-addiction ad about pot. But they keep saying it. And pot's the anti-drug. But pot is also hemp, and hemp is the antidote to our addiction to oil. I had this other banner. This was a big hit in Washington this year. They talk about this being the anti-drug, that being the anti-drug. Cannabis is the anti-drug. And we at Cures Not Wars want to turn an alcohol and nicotine society into a cannabis society. And we want your help to do that. We want you to come to events like this and gather. Maybe learn how to organize events of your own. Come to Liberation Day, the first Saturday of May, in a city near you. We have 3 locations in Michigan, but we want to have more. We want to have Liberation Day be the new hippie holiday, because we don't need our government to tell us what our holidays are. We declare ourselves free on Liberation Day, and the goal is that you shouldn't have to drive more than an hour to get to a rally on Liberation Day. You should always be able to get there in time for 420 for the Million Marijuana March. You should always be able to hang out all day for a free concert. It's your right. You have to exercise it. You have to flex your muscle. We have hope. This is the poster for this year's event, this year's Liberate Marijuana. And the thing about this is 230 locations around the world, some of them listed on the back. Get a hold of one of these. We'll have these at the NORML tent. And look at it. See these contacts. See how vast this event is. And then go online and read the results of the events. Hear about how, Detroit was hassled, but in Athens, Greece, there was 100,000 people. Or you'll read something like in San Francisco, there was 2,000 people in the park there all smoking up. This is the power of the gathering. We're having some of that today. This is just sort of getting your toes in the water. I foresee events here where we can jump in the water together and start swimming.
Yeah.
So come back to this event next year. Come to these events that happen annually every year. It's kind of insulting to me that we have events that are 39 years old, annual events, like the D.C. Smoke-In. We've had to protest for our freedom longer than anyone else in America has had to protest for their freedom. And that tells 2 things to the people who don't smoke. First of all, that we're persistent. And second of all, that we still believe in this system, and we have enough faith and forgiveness to go back to this system that has its jackboot on our throats and ask for our freedom. And to do it politely. We're not violent, out-of-control kids on drugs. We're the responsible cannabis consumers, and we're the face of the future. We're here, we're high, we're used to it, so get used to it. Talk to your parents about pot. Talk to your family about pot. Talk to your pastors and your reverends about pot. Unless you're a Catholic. The Catholic Church invented cannabis prohibition, by the way. and they prohibited hemp farming in Europe right before the plagues and the starvations and the things happened. That's pretty nice. They caused a biblical disaster in Europe by outlawing hemp. And I say, too, that they legalized hemp again for the World War II effort. Why don't we legalize hemp again for the World War III effort? We may find that we may put an end to this war faster than we ever thought. We have to get our legalization going. We have to have our pot pride. When you save the seed, you're saving the seed that will save the planet. I also have one thing to ask of you today. For the last few years, I have been going to the hemp farms on the Oglala Lakota native lands, or what the white man calls the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota. If you have seeds left over today, let me repeat, if you have seeds left over today that are viable, and you were thinking you were going to throw them away or maybe eat them, but you'd like to see them grow, give those seeds to me and I guarantee you they will be planted as hemp on reservation soil. Save your seeds for the Sioux. I'm going to get a jar started. I want to have at least a lid-sized bag of seeds when I leave this place. And I know there's a lot of weed here that doesn't have any seeds. So that makes it look... Every time I do this bit in Seattle, you know, people scratch their heads, a seed. Is that where clones come from? There you go. It's talking about how the birds will eat the hemp crops and spread the seed everywhere like Johnny Appleseed, but I'm looking at something a little more strategically planned. So again, get a hold of me, get a hold of the NORML booth back there where the reggae flag is.
Okay.
Save your seeds for the Sioux.
They're only going to use two
And then I want to do one more thing because I want to get off
exactly
here. Of course, we
one.
got a banner still setting up. Maybe we got a man from NORML here who can say a few words too. I haven't really said much about the fact that coming November you can vote to legalize cannabis medicine for the state of Michigan. So I'm going to let that thunder go to someone else, I think. But I want to see if I can get you people, I see you paying attention, let's see if I can get you to scream a little bit. I want to get 4 words from you. The 4 words are, I got pot pride. Can I get that for you? I got pot pride. I got pot pride. I got pot pride. I got pot pride. Hip hip hooray! All right, now I'm going to get our man from NORML up here, and he's going to tell you about the best news we've had in Michigan in at least a decade, because I'm sick of patients getting thrown in jail for their medicine, and I know there's a lot of patients without patients here. Maybe later tonight I'll get on and tell you about some of the medical uses that you might not have heard of that are more serious than just people who are dying. But tell us about this year's petition.
Hello everybody! Peace Fest version 2.0 2008. Thanks for coming out. I see a lot of people standing here. Now I'm going to put you to work. I'm going to get just 4 words from you, okay? I got pot pride. You got that? I got pot pride. I got pot pride. I got pot pride. Come on, people. I got to see a bunch of people staring at me. I'm not going to get into my speech until you people chant with me here. So we're going to go, I got pot pride. I got pot pride. Now, was that so hard? Excuse me for just trying to get you all to breathe this day. Put the joint down, take a breath of oxygen. Let me kick some knowledge to you. We got some really, really excellent news this year. We are going to have on our ballot in the state of Michigan a constitutional amendment that will make cannabis medicine legal. So we want all of you people, and I'm not even going to insult you to ask how many aren't registered to vote here. If you think you can't vote because you might be a felon or out of prison or something like that, check again. You might still be able to vote in Michigan. talk to NORML. You can, it's as simple as going to your post office. You can get the form. You can register, and you can vote to legalize cannabis medicine in Michigan. And while we're at it, we're going to vote those Republicans out of office. There's a party that needs to be treated like the Iraqi Ba'ath Party. That's the Republican Party. We need a republification in this country here. But I want to tell you something. Now, we got the medical, and people need to know a little bit more about the medical use. I want to give you a medical marijuana testimony from a friend of mine named Daryl Paulson. Daryl Paulson lives in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He has cerebral palsy. He was born with it. Cerebral palsy is when you don't get enough oxygen to the fetal brain in the womb, and it causes a form of brain damage. You still live, but you're severely, and I mean severely, debilitated by this disease if you let it remain untreated. Western medicine doped him up with Valium and other opiates. They gave him pills that made him a zombie, and they said that was good medicine. That's legal medicine in America. Well, that wasn't good enough for Daryl. And Daryl found out that when he smoked pot, it alleviated his symptoms of cerebral palsy. And let me tell you all about what that means. First of all, Daryl is generally confined to a wheelchair. He cannot use the bathroom by himself. He can't get out of that chair by himself. But when he smokes pot, he can dress himself. He can use the bathroom by himself. And I'll tell you something else, too. Cerebral palsy comes with mild retardation symptoms. And when the guy's not high, he's patting me on the head like I'm his doggy. When he is high, he's holding his own against a Fox News Channel reporter. Of course, maybe that's not saying so much because, you know, they're the retards, aren't they? But he could probably hold his own against any of us, too. And this is the thing, you know, they say pot makes you stupid. It makes Daryl smart. They say that pot makes you that you just sit around, you can't walk the dog. This guy can get out of his wheelchair like some kind of biblical miracle. And they want to keep this drug illegal? No! And this year, the state of Michigan says no. We will legalize cannabis medicine, and then we're coming around to legalize the hemp and the herb. So get active. All you people who didn't work on it but thought maybe you could have gone door to door and done petitioning, there's going to be other opportunities, and we're going to need you. So it's a good time for you to get lined up with some organizations. Talk to Cures Not Wars. Talk to NORML. Talk to Marijuana Policy Project and these other groups that are doing a bang-up job all over the country. And when you look at how pot got illegalized in the first place, it was a couple states out west that illegalized it first before they had the federal law. So we're going to try to work that plan in reverse. I know it seems like baby steps. I know it seems like taking forever. But it's the best we can do without cracking skulls. So I want to ask you for something. I've got a booth set up this year. It's got the rainbow flag by it now. There'll be lots of cool hemp information in a rainbow farm. I'll also be vending some hemp clothing at straight up wholesale. So if you want to get some hemp on your back for damn near half price, because you're cool enough to show up at a Peace Fest and listen to me yak at you, you get to buy your hemp at wholesale while we're at this event today.
Yeah!
So I hope to see you over there. I've got blank t-shirts and all kinds of fun stuff you can work with. But I'm also going to have a jar out, because I have yet to go on my annual trip out west to visit Alex White Plume's hemp fields in the I'm joking over because I want to call it the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation because that's what the white man calls it, but they call it the Oglala Lakota Nation. And I'm going to be out there with every seed that I can score and get my hands on. My campaign for the last 3 years has been Save Your Seeds for the Sioux. So if you have stuff that's going to produce seeds, and I know there's a lot of people who don't, scratching their heads right now, wondering where they're going to get a seed from, that's okay. But if you have seeds, take them over to my booth, because I'm saving your seeds for the Sioux. You give me that seed, I guarantee you it will grow next year as industrial hemp on reservation land. So help me out with Save Your Seeds for the Sioux. That's the other thing. Another thing I want you all to remember is 3 words: hemp energy farming. And I'm not just talking about ethanol and mixing that with gasoline. I'm saying that hemp farming can replace oil as the substance we use to make gasoline. We're talking about biogasoline. It's actually the true gasoline. That's something I'll explain at another time. But I want to tell you that hemp can end World War III by solving the energy crisis, and will probably also solve the drug crisis at the same time. This is the thing we have to all get radical about. If you want to go to the Democratic Convention, there are going to be thousands of people there protesting for this there. You have good company if you go to Colorado this year. So I'm recommending if you can travel. If you can write letters to the editor, even write a book, do it. Get started today. Or whatever it is that you can do, that you know yourself that you can do. This is what I need you to do. Start on that today. Think of something that you can start today and continue every day for the rest of your life until we solve this problem of cannabis prohibition. Sometimes it's a little thing, but when you come to a rally like this, everybody pulls their little things together and you build a city of liberty. That's what they did at Rainbow Farm. That's what I tried to do in Detroit for Liberation Day. That's what we're going to do at other events here. And by the way, I want the band to know they can definitely continue setting up. They can even test stuff a little bit while I'm talking. There's no reason to wait too much for that. I can even tolerate a drum check while I'm going. Rim shots are fun. You know, you know what's fun are these anti-pot ads. You know, it offends me enough that when they have this billion-dollar budget for anti-drug ads, they never use the word addiction. They don't talk about heroin anymore. Oh, they had a couple little ones about meth, but those are gone now. All they want to tell you about is pot. And they have nothing to tell us about pot, but they won't shut up. So they have these ads that were like the little kid reciting the ABC song, and then later they had the little kid like drawing the ads with his crayons or something. What a disappointment that must have been for the bureaucrat who just blew $1 million, you know. Why is it so late? Oh, little Billy's crayons kept breaking. You know. But we got a band that's ready here. Sean Milady. So you need this mic too? It's all checked and ready for you. So enjoy this band and keep on talking. We officially have a quorum.
All right, check.
Hit, see, whoa.
I tell you, I smoke 2 joints in the morning. I smoke 2 joints at night. I smoke 2 joints in the afternoon. It makes me feel alright. I smoke 2 joints in time of peace and 2 in time of war. I smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints and then I smoke 2 more. That's right. Oh, cigarettes the other day she died. I said I give a never step up to Gunset's Amelia. A cigarette to the day. Hell no. Daddy Key once told me, son, you better be a hard-working man. Mama, she once told me, baby, you can do the best you can. And then one day I met a man who came to me and said, he said, hard work is good and hard work is fine, but you gotta take care of your head. Yeah.